Well, it's a hell of a life. I never thought I'd be opening the most beautiful building, probably built in Dubai in a very long time. And, the next day speaking at, being the keynote speaker at Token 49. But they're both passions of mine. I love real estate. That's my first love. It'll always be my first love. I love building. I love tangible assets. And what I'm doing with Dart Global right now is unbelievable. They're the best in the Middle East at what they do. They're incredible people. I love them with every ounce of my soul. We're building projects together in Oman. We're building projects in Riyadh. We have an incredible project that we just launched in Jeddah. And obviously, the ribbon cutting tonight of Trump National Hotel and Tower right on Sheikh Zayed. It's going to be an amazing project. Tallest pool in the world. So that's kind of a fun little one. We'll be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the highest pool anywhere on Earth. And so we're super excited. But then you take that, and then you take the tokenization. You take crypto, and it's a world I believe in. It's the greatest kind of hedge against real estate. Everything that real estate is, digital assets is not, other than being an asset. Real estate's heavy. Real estate's expensive. Real estate, I kind of hate to say it, but it's a very hard market for the masses to enter in so many ways because it's so capital intensive. You can't move it. It's very, very slow to sell. You look at crypto, it's almost the exact opposite. Everybody can enter it, and everybody will enter it. That's why the crypto worlds are exploding. You can transact instantaneously. You can move it anywhere in the world. It has instant liquidity. So the digital asset space is the greatest hedge toward real estate, and real estate is really the greatest hedge toward the digital asset space. And I've fallen in love with both of them. And I just couldn't be more excited to kind of combine them. And also, last but not least, in terms of Trump Tower Dubai, Trump International Hotel and Tower Dubai, we're combining the two. It's going to be the first probably mainstream, large, prominent building anywhere in the world that's going to actually allow you to transact, to buy units in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrencies.
We'll see maybe a speed up of the tokenization process that already Dubai is announced lately. There will be an acceleration, and we will see Trump assets in the region tokenized, although you don't have the full ownership of them.
Yeah. In time, you're going to see a lot of tokenization in every asset class, but specifically real estate, and that's coming, and it's coming very, very quickly. There's no question about it. When you look back, if you listen to this interview 5 years from now and 10 years from now, you're going to look at a financial world that's completely different than what it is today. Tokenization, DeFi protocols, assets like Bitcoin that can be moved all over the world. That's really becoming kind of a security blanket for so many countries around the world that are unstable, have bad governments, have bad currencies, are seeing massive inflations in the country. You're going to see currencies like that, in my opinion, really explode in a major way. You're going to see the prevalence of the U.S. dollar through, kind of digitized currency, largely based on the U.S. dollar. Just launched one, called USD1. That's really our first project in that space, and wow, has it been successful. It's been one of the most explosive things I've ever seen in terms of success. And so the world is definitely rewriting what finance is right now. The world is rewriting what real estate is right now. Boundaries are being pushed like never before. Now, USD1 has been announced. That's our stablecoin. That's World Liberty Financial stablecoin. And the adoption thus far has been, unbelievable. And so, we're excited about that.
Yeah, can we have a figure indicator about the adoption now?
I'll save that. I'll save that for a formal announcement, but
okay.
It's incredibly sizable.
What core problem you think USD1 is going to solve for the investor and the end user that USDD and USDC failed to fulfill?
A lot. It's going to be a much better version, in my opinion, of both of those. I think you're going to see something that's pegged to 1-to-1 against the U.S. dollar. You have a world right now where so many countries don't trust their currencies, right? It's just the reality. There was a stablecoin that was launched in Europe, and only 0.5% of Europeans wanted to buy a stablecoin that was based on the euro because they just, frankly, don't like the euro. You know what everybody wants? The United States dollar. And you know what everybody wants to receive? The United States dollar, and that's universal, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So I think to be able to digitize that currency in the way that we're able to do, and then make it user-friendly, make that banking experience a user-friendly experience, make it really transparent to the end user is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. if you look at the crypto world, and we'll get back to the real estate world in a second, when you look at the crypto world, the one thing that they've done terribly wrong is hospitality. It's one thing that we know so well because we do hospitality better than anybody. And so far in the crypto world, kind of the user interface hasn't been great. It's getting better and better and better every single day. And I think that's one of the things, kind of, building some of the biggest buildings on earth. When you walk into Trump International Hotel Tower, Dubai, and you see that hospitality, you see somebody, you never touch a door, you never touch an elevator button. You've got the most immaculate room, you've got the most immaculate experience. Well, that's what you want. You want to take that and you want to impart that on the, on the banking space, on the crypto space. And I think when you can combine high-level finance with proper kind of hospitality user experience, I think you're going to have a recipe that's very hard to beat.
With the U.S. federal government holding the development of a digital central bank currency, do you see USD1 is filling the gap left by the absence of a digital dollar? And how do you position USD1 in this landscape?
Well, I think they're going to be completing each other, and I think in private world, private industry can get things done a lot quicker than oftentimes public entities can. The speed of our rollout has been really exceptional, and that's exciting. But I also think you see a world where you want massive adoption of something new and innovative, right? I mean, the younger generations, they're all trading crypto, they all believe in crypto, they all want crypto. They also want the US dollar because they feel that that's a security blanket in such an unstable world where so much power has been lost. You take that and you combine that with so many countries around the world that literally just don't have a good formal system. Hey, we've got a great formal system in the United States. You do too. You're right here in Dubai. With that formal system, it works. But it's slow and it's costly and it's broken and you've got countries that don't even have a formal system. So, not only does it not work, right, it doesn't exist. And now all of a sudden, so long as you have a smartphone, you can trade on the US dollar and you can do so instantly anywhere in the world. It actually, from almost a humanitarian standpoint, it's a beautiful thing. It gives people who would have never otherwise had access to certain parts of the world, access to those parts of the world. It kind of puts them on a level playing field, almost the same way that the internet put people in terms of a knowledge base.
Do you think that the USD1 can restore the trust in dollar that is facing a little bit of pressure nowadays?
Absolutely. And then let's go back to real estate. But there's no question that I think the greatest way to prop up the dollar is to bring the entire world onto the dollar. And how do you do that? Through a digitized form. Do I think Europe is going to be thrilled that you're going to have a digitized US dollar? No, because I tend to suspect everybody's going to want the dollar over the euro. They're probably not going to be thrilled at all. But I think it's a good thing for them because the dollar is a stronger instrument. And I think it's a good thing for the rest of the world because that's the currency that they want to transact in.
Yes, and that's how do you believe from the thought leadership about the blockchain is going to transform the financial landscape worldwide?
Blockchain is going to change the world. It's going to make the world cheaper, faster, more transparent. So many things don't need to exist in the current financial system that's just predatory toward the consumer. Middlemen, currency conversion rates, banking fees, wire transfer fees. So many of those things can be eliminated vis-a-vis blockchain, and that's going to make it a much better user experience for the end consumer.
Yes. In our last interview, you predicted that the price of the Bitcoin will reach $200,000 US dollar. And you have estimation as well that it might reach during the MENA Bitcoin maybe $1 million. Viewing the latest fluctuation that the Bitcoin is facing lately, do you still believe that it's still a value to store for the investors, or they prefer the traditional assets like gold and US dollar?
I'm not sure what situation Bitcoin's facing. It's an asset that's gone up 55% year over year for the last 15 years. It's probably the largest appreciating asset that's ever existed. It's done tremendously well. Even if you look at the last fiscal year, it's up significantly. I mean, it was about a year ago, it was at, 55,000? And now, as of today, it's at, 94,000? The appreciation is incredible. What people can't handle is there's a lot of people out there in the world that don't have spine, can't handle volatility. If you can't handle volatility, you don't get into the crypto world. Just, put your money in treasuries, go do something else, go do something very uneventful and boring. But yes, I believe that Bitcoin is going to hit 2,000. And I think over time it's going to do a hell of a lot better than that. I think its best days are ahead. I think everybody in the world is trying to get it right now, and I think it's an incredibly valuable asset. When you see buildings like the one that we're building right here in Dubai, that's literally willing to accept Bitcoin, as payment for luxury apartments looking over, the Burj Khalifa, you better believe it's here to stay, right? I mean, we're serious people that are in serious business building serious towers. And if we're willing to recognize it as a form of currency, you better believe it's here to stay. And when you see countries that are transacting it as a form of payment, and when you see, major countries that are dedicating their entire power grids in low peak months to the mining of that currency, you better believe it's here to stay. And so, yes, I think the price is going to skyrocket. I think it's going to do tremendously well. And I think we're in the infancy of what Bitcoin is and truly what crypto is overall.
So if you have $10 million to park, personal wealth,
you know where I park
will
it?
Invest, yeah, where do
I
you
park it in the penthouse of Trump International, hotel and tower, Dubai, because it's going to be the best views in the world, and it also gives you great quality of life. How about that?
Some observers argue that the U.S. tariffs policies during Trump administration contributed to a global shift away from the U.S. dollar. How do you address such concerns?
My opinion on tariffs, the entire world has been screwing the United States of America for a very long time. That excludes the Gulf, because honestly the Gulf isn't really a region of the world that produces widgets and knickknacks and other things, and they're not dumping those products on the United States. There's a certain point where the United States has to stop building every country around the world and actually start building itself. And we've fallen very, very short of that as we've lost all of our industry, all of our jobs, all of our manufacturing to countries around the world who otherwise want to probably see our destruction. And so I'm proud of the tariff wars. I'm proud that the United States is going to recenter itself. I'm proud that the United States will start reinvesting in itself and sticking up for itself. And I think our greatest allies, and that now includes the Gulf, I think we're going to do very well on that. America is not going to get pushed around. There's not going to be a vacuum of power anymore, which you've seen. You're going to have safety and security across the globe, which you didn't see over the last 4 years because we had totally incompetent leadership. And what does that benefit? That benefits the Gulf, because there's no one that does better with a safe, prosperous, commercially viable world than the UAE, and frankly, America. As I said, you're focused on hospitality. You're focused on capitalism. And those are beautiful things, and those are things that can have a symbiotic relationship. Countries that are predatory in nature, that are stealing workers, stealing factories, stealing products, stealing intellectual property, stealing patents and trademarks, taking the very items that you create using your brain power and entrepreneurialism, repackaging them, and using sweatshop labor to produce them and resell them back to your people, only to put those people out of jobs, that's going to stop. And I am thrilled. As an American, I'm thrilled to see it.